A few years ago, a guy sold everything he owned. His car, his furniture, his apartment, everything, down to about 15 items total. His friends thought he had a breakdown. His family thought he was going through something. But here's what actually happened. His anxiety disappeared. His focus came back. He started sleeping through the night for the first time in years, and for the first time in his adult life, he felt free. He didn't find happiness by getting more. He found it the moment he stopped. But why? Why does owning less make you feel more free? The answer isn't philosophical, it's neurological. You know that feeling when you have too many tabs open on your browser and everything starts slowing down? Pages won't load. Your computer starts freezing. Simple tasks take twice as long as they should. Your brain does the exact same thing. In psychology, this is called cognitive load, the total amount of mental effort your working memory is handling at any given moment. And here's what most people fundamentally misunderstand about how their brain works. It doesn't just process what you're actively thinking about. It's constantly running background processes on everything in your environment. Every single thing. Let me walk you through a typical morning to show you what I mean. You wake up. Before you even get out of bed, your brain has already started cataloging. The laundry you didn't finish yesterday. The email you meant to reply to. The thing on your nightstand you keep meaning to put away. You haven't even had coffee yet, and your mental RAM is already being consumed. You walk to the bathroom. You pass the stack of mail on the counter you haven't gone through. Your brain notes it. You see the gym bag you packed 3 days ago, but never used. Your brain notes it. You open the medicine cabinet, and it's overcrowded. Things fall out. You shove them back in. Your brain notes it. You get dressed. You open your closet, full of clothes, half of which you never wear, and spend 8 minutes deciding what to put on. 8 minutes of decision-making before 8 a.m. And this is just the first 20 minutes of your day. Psychologists call this the Zeigarnik effect, our brain's tendency to fixate on unfinished tasks and unresolved loops. It's why you can't stop thinking about the thing you forgot to do. Your brain literally won't release it until it's resolved. And in a modern home full of objects, obligations, and half-finished projects, those open loops are everywhere. The average American home contains over 300,000 items. 300,000 things your brain has to, on some level, account for. 300,000 open tabs, running in the background, draining your mental battery before you've even started your actual day. Is it any wonder you feel exhausted by 3 p.m.? Is it any wonder you can't focus? Is it any wonder that even on your days off, days specifically designed for rest, you feel this vague, nagging sense that you should be doing something? Your brain is not broken. Your brain is full. Researchers at UCLA followed 32 middle-class American families and measured their cortisol, the primary stress hormone, levels throughout the day. What they found was striking. Stress levels spiked the moment people came home, and were highest when they were dealing with their belongings, the clutter, the mess, the accumulation of stuff. Their homes were supposed to be their sanctuary. Instead, their possessions were stressing them out. This is the hidden cost nobody mentions when you buy something new. It's not just the money, it's the mental energy that object will consume for every single day you own it. The time to maintain it, organize it, clean it, fix it, move it, find it, worry about it. That's the real price tag. And most of us are deeply, dangerously overdrawn. And here's the part that should make you angry, because this didn't happen by accident. Think about it from a pure business perspective. A brain that is constantly overwhelmed, constantly distracted, constantly chasing the next thing, is the perfect consumer. When your prefrontal cortex is depleted from decision fatigue, you buy impulsively. You don't comparison shop. You don't stop to ask whether you actually need something. You see it, you want the dopamine hit, you click buy. When you're mentally exhausted at the end of a long day, you don't cook, you order. You don't think critically about what you're consuming, you just consume. Your cognitive exhaustion is quite literally someone else's business model. And it goes deeper than individual purchases. Psychologists who study hedonic adaptation, our brain's tendency to return to a baseline level of happiness, regardless of what happens to us, have found that we adapt to new acquisitions incredibly fast. The new phone that felt exciting in week 1 is just a phone by week 4. The apartment upgrade that felt like a dream becomes just the place you live within a few months. So the cycle demands constant renewal. You need the next thing, and the next, and the next. Not because you're greedy or shallow, but because your brain is doing exactly what brains do, adapting, moving on, looking for what's new. The problem is that an entire economy has been built to exploit that mechanism. Now layer on top of that something even more powerful: social comparison. Every time you open Instagram or TikTok, your brain is involuntarily running comparisons. Their apartment versus yours, their vacation versus yours, their body, their car, their relationship, their life versus yours. And with every comparison, a subtle but powerful message gets reinforced. You are not enough yet. You need more. You need to upgrade. Psychologists call this upward social comparison, and research consistently shows it correlates with lower self-esteem, higher anxiety, and you guessed it, increased spending. Because spending feels like doing something about the gap. It feels like progress, even when it isn't. And somewhere along the way, you stopped asking the most important question: who decided I needed all of this in the first place? Think about your childhood. At what point did someone sit you down and explicitly say, your value as a person is directly tied to what you own, where you live, what you drive, and what your job title is? Nobody said it out loud, but you absorbed it anyway. From the ads you saw thousands of times before you were old enough to think critically, from watching what adults around you stressed about and celebrated, from the subtle but relentless cultural message that more is better, busy means important, and ambitious means worthy. You were conditioned, not maliciously, just systematically, over years and years, until the conditioning became invisible, until it felt like just the way things are. And now here you are, working a job you're lukewarm about, to pay for things you barely use, to impress people you barely know, to feel a sense of worth that disappears the moment you stop achieving. Let me make this even more concrete, because there's a financial dimension to this that most people never fully reckon with. Every time your lifestyle expands, bigger apartment, newer car, nicer clothes, more subscriptions, your financial floor rises with it. And a higher financial floor means less freedom. It means you can't take the risk. You can't say no to the project you hate. You can't take a month off. You can't walk away from the job that's slowly draining you. Your expenses have become a cage, and you're paying rent on it every single month. Thoreau calculated something radical in 1845 that still holds up today. He figured out that by simplifying his life to its essentials, he only needed to work about 6 weeks a year to cover everything he needed. 6 weeks. The rest of his time was his, to read, to think, to write, to walk, to actually live. Now, you don't have to go that far, but ask yourself honestly, if you cut your monthly expenses in half, how would that change your options? How much more negotiating power would you have in every area of your life? How much fear would dissolve? That's the math of simplicity. And it's more liberating than anything you could buy. That's not living. That's running a program someone else installed. So if the problem is psychological, if your brain is the battlefield, then the solution has to be psychological too. And what neuroscience has found might genuinely surprise you. When your environment is cluttered and complex, your brain's prefrontal cortex, the region responsible for decision-making, focus, creativity, and emotional regulation, is in a constant state of low-level stress. It's always on, always processing, always managing something. This creates what psychologists call decision fatigue, the progressive deterioration of your ability to make good decisions after a long session of decision-making. Every choice you make, no matter how small, draws from the same finite cognitive reservoir. What to wear, where to put this thing, whether to deal with that task now or later, whether to buy this or that. Should I respond to this message now or later? Each decision, trivial as it seems, costs you something. And by the time you get to the decisions that actually matter, how to respond to a difficult situation, whether to take a risk on something meaningful, how to show up fully for the people you love, that reservoir is running low. This is why Steve Jobs wore the same outfit every day. This is why Barack Obama, during his presidency, limited his wardrobe to gray and blue suits. They understood something intuitively that neuroscience has since confirmed. Every trivial decision you eliminate is cognitive energy you can redirect toward what actually matters. Now imagine applying that principle, not just to your wardrobe, but to your entire life. Researchers at Princeton found that visual clutter directly competes for your attentional resources and significantly reduces your ability to focus and process information. Your brain literally cannot perform at its highest level in a complex, cluttered environment. Not because you're undisciplined, because you're human, and human brains have limits. But here's the flip side, and this is where it gets genuinely exciting. When people reduce the complexity of their physical and mental environment, something remarkable happens. The prefrontal cortex gets a break. And when the prefrontal cortex finally gets a break, the default mode network, the part of your brain associated with deep self-reflection, creativity, imagination, and making sense of your life, finally gets space to activate. This is why your best ideas come in the shower, why you solve your hardest problems on long walks, why moments of genuine clarity almost always come when you step away from the noise, not when you're in the middle of it. Your brain is not lazy. Your brain desperately wants to think deeply. It just can't when it's drowning in input. There's also a profound psychological concept at play here called autonomy, one of the 3 core human needs identified by Deci and Ryan's self-determination theory. Autonomy means that your choices feel genuinely yours, that your life reflects your own values, not external pressure or social conditioning. When that need is chronically unmet, when you're living a life assembled from other people's expectations, buying things because advertising told you to, chasing goals that society handed you, you experience what psychologists call autonomy frustration. And autonomy frustration is directly linked to anxiety, chronic dissatisfaction, and that specific kind of emptiness where everything looks fine on paper but feels hollow inside. The simple life, at its core, is an act of reclaiming autonomy. Every time you consciously choose what stays in your life and what goes, you are taking your psychology back from the systems that have been quietly running it. That's not minimalism as an aesthetic. That's psychological liberation. But there's another layer to this, one that goes beyond your home, beyond your possessions, and straight into the way your entire day is structured. We live in what researchers now call the attention economy. Every app, every platform, every notification competing for one thing, your attention. And unlike money, unlike time, attention once spent leaves a residue. It doesn't just disappear cleanly, it lingers. Research by Gloria Mark at UC Irvine found that after a single interruption, it takes an average of 23 minutes and 15 seconds to fully return to the depth of focus you had before. 23 minutes. For one interruption. Now think about your day honestly. How many interruptions do you experience? Notifications, a coworker stopping by, a thought that surfaces about something you forgot, an object in your peripheral vision that triggers a mental note, the thing on your desk you've been meaning to deal with for 2 weeks. We're not just losing minutes, we're losing the capacity for what author Cal Newport calls deep work, the ability to focus without distraction on cognitively demanding tasks. Deep work is where your most meaningful contributions happen. It's where real creativity lives. It's where you do the work you're actually proud of, the work that feels like it came from somewhere real inside you. And it's becoming increasingly rare, not because people have gotten lazier, but because our environments, the complexity, the clutter, the infinite scroll, the constant connectivity, are structurally, almost architecturally designed to prevent it. Here's what this costs you beyond productivity. Think about the last time you were truly present with someone you care about. Fully there, not mentally composing a reply, not half thinking about something else, not distracted by the phone face down on the table that you're still aware of. When was that? For most people, genuine presence has become accidental, a rare state that happens by luck rather than by design. And that's not just a productivity problem, that's a life problem. Because your relationships, your creativity, your sense of meaning, all of it depends on your ability to be fully present. And full presence requires mental space. Mental space requires simplicity. Think about what it costs you relationally. When you're sitting across from someone you love, your partner, your child, your closest friend, and part of your mind is elsewhere, they feel it. Maybe they don't say it, but they feel it. And over time, that chronic half-presence erodes something that's very hard to rebuild. Or, think about what it costs you creatively. Every significant creative breakthrough in history, every great idea, every insight that changed something, came not from a moment of frantic busyness, but from a moment of mental spaciousness. Newton, under the apple tree. Archimedes in the bath. Einstein on his bicycle. The mind needs room to make unexpected connections. It needs silence to hear itself think. We have engineered that silence, almost completely out of modern life. And we wonder why everything feels surface level, why we feel like we're going through the motions, why the days blur together into a kind of gray sameness. The answer isn't to try harder or be more productive. The answer is to create more space, to protect your attention as the finite, irreplaceable resource that it actually is, to design your environment, physical, digital, social, so that depth is possible, so that presence is possible, so that the life you're actually living gets the full quality of your attention, not the scraps left over after everything else has taken its share. I want to be clear about something, because this is where people get it wrong. Living simply does not mean living poorly. It does not mean suffering or deprivation or moving to a cabin in the woods and eating beans every day. Simple means intentional. It means every significant thing in your life, your possessions, your commitments, your relationships, your goals, has passed through a conscious filter. You looked at it, you evaluated it, and you chose it. It serves you. It aligns with who you actually are and what you actually value. Everything else got released. Psychologically, this matters more than most people realize. Research on choice overload, demonstrated powerfully in Sheena Iyengar's famous JAM study, shows that having too many options doesn't make us happier. It paralyzes us, exhausts us, and actually reduces our satisfaction with the choices we do make. Fewer, better choices isn't a limitation. It's a feature. When you own fewer things, you appreciate each one more deeply. When you have fewer commitments, you show up more fully for the ones you keep. When you pursue fewer goals, you actually achieve them, because your energy isn't scattered across 20 directions simultaneously. But what does this actually look like in practice? Here's a simple framework. Start by asking 3 questions about anything in your life: an object, a commitment, a habit, a relationship dynamic. 1. Does this add genuine value, or does it just occupy space? Not sentimental value, not hypothetical future value. Real, actual value in your life right now. 2. What is the true cognitive cost of maintaining this? Not just the time, the mental energy, the background processing, the open loop it creates. 3. If I let this go, what becomes possible? That third question is the most important one, because simplicity isn't primarily about what you lose. It's about what you gain access to when the noise clears. Simple looks different for everyone. For some people, it's a smaller home in a place they actually love. For others, it's walking away from a high-paying job that was consuming their identity. For some, it's a quieter social life, with fewer but deeper relationships. For others, it starts with something as unglamorous as clearing out a closet, and discovering that the physical lightness creates an unexpected mental lightness too. Whatever form it takes, the psychological mechanism is the same. You are reducing cognitive load. You are reclaiming autonomy. You are creating the conditions for the kind of presence and clarity that make life feel like it's actually yours. And here's something worth understanding about the process itself. Simplifying isn't a one-time event. It's not a weekend project where you declutter your closet and you're done. It's an ongoing practice of noticing when complexity has crept back in, when your calendar has gotten overcommitted again, when your mental space has gotten crowded. The question to keep returning to isn't how little can I own. It's, does this belong in the life I'm trying to build? That's a completely different question. One is about deprivation. The other is about intention. And intention, repeated consistently over time, changes not just what you own or what you do. It changes who you are. It changes how you relate to the world. It changes what you notice, what you value, what brings you genuine satisfaction versus what just creates the brief illusion of it. And here's what people who've made that shift consistently report. They don't miss what they gave up. They're genuinely astonished they ever thought they needed it. I want to end with something honest. None of this is easy. If it were easy, everyone would already be doing it. Choosing simplicity in a world that profits from your complexity is a genuinely countercultural act. People will not always understand. Some will think you're strange. Some will interpret your choices as a judgment of theirs, and they won't be entirely wrong about that, which is why it makes them uncomfortable. Some will tell you you're wasting your potential, playing small, giving up. You will feel the pull of social comparison. You will have moments of genuine doubt. You will wonder, especially at first, whether you're missing out on something. That's normal. That's the conditioning doing what conditioning does. And with time and distance, it quiets down. But here is what the research tells us, clearly and consistently. The people who report the highest levels of genuine life satisfaction are not the ones who have accumulated the most. They are the ones with the clearest sense of what actually matters to them, and the courage to build their lives around that, regardless of what the world around them is doing. That clarity doesn't come from acquiring more. It comes from removing what obscures it. And here's something the research on well-being keeps circling back to. The things that genuinely contribute to human flourishing, deep relationships, meaningful work, a sense of autonomy, time for reflection, presence in your own life, none of them require accumulation. None of them require a higher income, or a bigger home, or a more impressive resume. They require space. They require attention. They require the willingness to stop filling every moment with noise and distraction, and just be fully, consciously, deliberately in your own life. That's what simplicity protects. Not your stuff, your life. Your brain is not the problem. Your capacity for joy, for focus, for deep connection, for meaningful work, none of that is the problem. It's all still there. It's just buried under everything you've accumulated, everything you've agreed to, everything you've been told you're supposed to want. The solution, the psychologically sound, evidence-backed, deeply human solution, is to set it down. Not all at once, not perfectly, just consciously, one decision at a time. Ask yourself about anything. Does this belong in my life? Does it serve who I'm trying to become? Does it earn the cognitive energy it costs me every day? If the answer is no, release it. And then pay attention to what happens in the space that creates. Notice how your mind gets quieter, how your focus returns, how the things that actually matter to you start to come back into view, not because they changed, but because you finally cleared enough away to see them again. That's not a small thing. That's the whole thing. If something in this video landed for you, if some part of you recognized what we talked about today, I want you to sit with that for a moment before you move on to the next thing. That recognition matters. It's not just intellectual agreement. It's something deeper telling you there's a different way to live, a quieter way, a way that's more genuinely yours. You don't have to transform your entire life by tomorrow, but you could start somewhere small today. One drawer, one commitment you've been half keeping out of obligation, one expectation you've been carrying that was never actually yours to begin with. Start there and see what opens up. If you want to keep exploring these ideas, the psychology of how we live, why we feel what we feel, and what the science actually says about human flourishing, subscribe to the channel. We go deep here. No empty motivation, no surface level advice, just ideas worth sitting with. I'll see you in the next one.